Hi everyone, Busy Bee Cookies here with a possibly um, life-changing tip for all of you out there that are using glaze as their medium to decorate cookies and that are frustrated with the fact that glaze just doesn't have any structure to hold shape to make flowers with, or to pipe borders, or to write with. So I have a very simple trick for you, and I urge you to play with it and try it out and see what works best for you. But it's really quite simple. You're gonna be amazed at the results. So let me show you. I have here a bowl of just regular glaze. I just mixed it a couple of colors together because I'm trying to use up my old glaze here. But it doesn't matter if it's fresh or if it's been sitting in your fridge for a little while. Either way, you will get great results. So as you can see, it's a fairly thick icing. That's what you want to start out with, simply because what we're going to add to it will change the texture a little bit, and you want it to be stiffer to begin with. If you want it stiffer still, you can also just add some more powdered sugar. But let me show you the difference. As you can see, all the ribbons that are produced when I mix it, they will melt into each other, which means basically is that when you're writing, your icing is gonna spread out on your cookie. And when you're writing with it, that can or cannot be very frustrating. Also, you are not able to make any flowers with this, be it roses or the flowers with maybe a small star shape tip. This is not going to hold its shape. Now let me show you the difference. This is what we're going to try to achieve with my simple trick. As I'm mixing this and I'm letting it fall back into the bowl, see how it's holding its shape? This will help you write on cookies. It will help you pipe borders. It will help you make flowers. If we stiffen this up a little bit more, with powdered sugar, you can even make what are they called? Toothpick roses with the 101S from Wilton. It is actually quite fascinating what happens. So let me show you the trick to get to this type of consistency icing that will hold its shape. You're going to be amazed. You add butter. Okay? It can be super fancy butter. It can be store-bought, store brand butter. Now, if you are a cottage food operator and they don't let you use butter or buttercream, then you can also use good old vegetable shortening. Okay? So let's see what happens. And I suggest you start with maybe a teaspoon, depending on how much icing you start out with. This is not a lot of icing. I would say this is maybe a little over half a cup of icing in this bowl. And I'm just going to start. I'm going to use vegetable shortening for this purpose. So I'm going to use this guy. So you want to start out with about a teaspoon of vegetable shortening. I'm gonna use my finger just for demonstration purposes. Here we go. Now remember, this is the icing that flows in, holds ribbons fairly nicely, but then starts to melt into each other. Now, let me show you what happens when we mix this in. It changes the consistency, and you could almost call this like a buttercream. So you want to make sure that you mix it in really well. All the shortening or the butter is mixed in. Now, if you use butter and you start with white icing, it will change the color to a yellow. So you need to be aware of that and make sure that you adjust the color, maybe add a little bit more white, or use shortening instead of butter if you're working with white. Now, look at this. We changed it from this to this. I'm not going to use the spoon. I'm going to clean this guy off here real quick. We changed it from a regular glaze that you use for piping. You can pipe like a simple border with this, just like an outline. You can definitely use this. I would not use this. So you can use this stiffer icing for borders, simple outlining borders. But look, see the difference? It changed a little bit more to dull. And I want to say that it changed the color just slightly. But with this icing, you can now pipe borders that hold their shape, like a bead border, or like a more fancy border if you use a tip with it. Or you can write. Like I would probably maybe thin it down with just some regular icing. Just if you want a bit more of a script, like a calligraphy type writing, I would probably thin this down. Just add a little bit more of your regular icing, or put some of that in here and mix it, and it will melt a little bit more into each other and give you a nice calligraphy style. But this I would use for a typewriting, or something that does not need to be does not need to look like it's flowing into each other. Now, if we add some more powdered sugar to this, we will stiffen it up, and you can then pipe roses with it. So let me show you how that works. Okay, so I've divided that same icing into two parts, because one we're going to stiffen up a little bit more with powdered sugar, and the other one we're going to leave. So this one we're going to leave, and I'm going to put this in a regular piping bag. There we go. And we're going to set this aside. So that's our regular one with vegetable shortening added. And now I'm going to take my powdered sugar, and we're going to stiffen this one up a little bit. And because it's such a small amount, I'm not going to use too much. It does get pretty hard to pipe the thicker it gets. Let's start out with this much. It's about maybe a teaspoon. So if you want to pipe toothpick roses, it needs to be fairly stiff, just like Royal Icing. See this? Now it doesn't come off my spatula very easily. We should probably add a little bit more. Let's add another half a teaspoon to this. Without the addition of shortening or butter, you would never be able to do this with glaze. It holds kind of a soft peak. The idea is that when you pipe it on a toothpick, that it doesn't slide off your toothpick. So we're gonna try it with this consistency. Maybe I'll add just a little bit more. Like I said, I want it stiff enough, whoops, but not as stiff so that I can't pipe it out of my bag anymore, or my tip. There. Here we go. All right, we're gonna put that in a bag. I'll let you watch while I do this boring part. There we go. All right. So now, in order for me to know which one is the one that has the stiffer icing, I'm just going to cut the top of the bag off. Okay, so this is the stiff icing. And we're going to cut this bag off. So stiff icing, stiff icing, but not too stiff so that you can write with it. That's this one. All right, let me go grab a piece of paper and then I'll show you the two differences. So I have here a few different tips. This is a PME number 2, which you would use to write. And I'm only using this tip because I'm switching between tips, and usually I write without tips. But for this purpose, I'm going to use this one to write. This is a Wilton 101S. It's tapered towards one side, so you can make toothpick flowers, roses that are very small, perfect for small cookies. And this is a star tip at Wilton 14. You can make swirl roses with those, small ones. You can, bigger ones that fill up a whole cookie, I would use the 1M. But this is a Wilton 14. And then this is an Ateco 27, which has the closed, I don't know what that's called, a closed star, I don't know, also to make swirl roses with. All right, so first I'm gonna use my writing consistency, and I'm gonna put the PME 2 in here. I'm gonna put this in a separate bag so I can easily switch it out. And you want to open up your bag quite a bit. There you go. And then we're going to put it in this other bag here. Whoops, making a mess. All right. Here we go. This is my writing. It holds its shape nicely. And also can be used for print writing. There you go. But it doesn't flow into each other, like into itself, I should say. Like it holds a nice little, I don't know, swirl. And also if you wanted to do like a cute little border, and I have something in here. Probably didn't mix it well enough. There we go. You get the idea. It holds nice dots. And also you get less craters when you use just a little bit of butter or shortening. So this will dry and won't crater as much. So that's the writing tip. And then I'm gonna use, let me use this one, the bigger one, the Ateco one. Now, remember, this icing with the addition of the vegetable shortening is still a little thinner than the one I thickened up. So let's see what happens when I pipe a swirl rose with this guy. So it does hold its shape pretty nicely, but not as defined as the stiffened up one. But you could still use this. Also, I'd like to add to this that you can let this dry and bag your cookies after. It takes a little bit longer than Royal Icing, of course, because there is no egg whites in it, but it will eventually dry. And you can maybe work ahead and have some already made. Just, I would let them dry, air dry, and then you can go ahead and place them on your cookie when you're done. All right, I'm just gonna take this tip off, and we're now switching to the stiffened up icing. And let's see if we stiffen it up enough so we can actually pipe a toothpick rose. Okay? All right, so I'm gonna move this aside here just for a second. And I'm gonna open up this bag. If it's not stiff enough, we're just gonna come back and stiffen it up a little bit more with powdered sugar. All right, what did I do with my, there it is. All right, we're gonna fit the Wilton 101S. All right, so you want the thin part on top. And I can't talk when I pipe. How silly. There you go. There's your little toothpick rose. See that? Whoops, here we go. There you have it. Toothpick rose. How fabulous is that? I'm gonna put it through this guy here. Normally you would use paper, like parchment paper. Whoops, here we go. See this? How fantastic is that? Also, let's try the star tip, and let's make a swirl rose. Ready? There you go. Perfect. You can make leaves with it. Oh, see, look, well, I did move it, the paper, so it all melted into each other. But this one, you can let air dry, and you can take it off the paper and put it on a cookie, and it will hold its shape. It will dry. You can bag your cookies. Look, even if I've moved the paper, and this toothpick rose is still beautiful. Isn't that fantastic? So there you have it. Glaze icing. My recipe is in my first video down below. In the comment, not in the comment section, in the drop down section. I will try and maybe put it in this one again, and just add either a little bit of butter or a little bit of vegetable shortening. Go with small increments. Also, I would suggest to use make smaller batches. I felt like it didn't give me as good as a result when I tried making it in bigger batches. So maybe 2 cups at a time, and just add your shortening or your butter, and mix it in really well, and stiffen it up with some more powdered sugar if you need to make toothpick roses or any other kind of roses, or maybe leaves and things like that. But see, look at this. Look how beautiful. And it dries, and it takes a little bit longer to dry, but you can bag it. You can put it on your cookies, you can put it on your cakes, on your, I don't know, whatever you want to put it on. But this has absolutely no eggs in it. And it's shelf stable. And for those of you who have to work with glaze icing because of cottage food laws that permits you to use Royal, anything that has egg whites or dehydrated egg whites or meringue powder, like they do for me. I'm not allowed to use it. This will change the way you decorate your cookies. Give it a try and let me know down below. Leave me a comment, and I'd appreciate it if you subscribed. I will try and be better at uploading more videos, and I try it out. Let me know. Tell me how it worked for you. Okay? Thank you so much for watching this. I really appreciate it. And I hope to see you next time with more tips on how to work with glaze icing. Bye.